Thank you so much. I was called in for a rehearsal here yesterday, but I wasn't in the town, so it wasn't possible for me to make it. And ever since I entered this hall room, I was talking to myself about what should be my opening statement. And I must tell you, I'm at a loss. I don't have any opening statement to offer. The topic that I will be talking to you all about is promoting environmental justice. I'm feeling very confident after listening to the previous speakers, because at times I go very down. I feel very frustrated because the things that I want to do, I take them up to a given level, but beyond that level, pushing it becomes very difficult because the governance in which I operate is not always very friendly. But if someone can dream of bringing in discipline to the chaotic traffic condition of Dhaka, why can't I dream of promoting the environmental justice for the people of this country? I think there is every hope in what I do. What does environmental justice mean? Is there any globally accepted definition? Let me start by saying that there is no globally environmental definition of the notion called environmental justice. What means environmental justice to the rich may not mean the same to the poor. What means environmental justice to the US may not have the same meaning to the people of Bangladesh. But this is a definition that I have borrowed from the US EPA. Basically, it says that environmental justice means the fair treatment and meaningful implementation of all people in the development, implementation, and enforcement of environmental law. And they have also defined fair treatment. They have also defined meaningful involvement. Meaningful involvement means that the community that will be affected by a given decision has to be consulted in a way that if they oppose a decision, the government takes notes of their concerns and accordingly changes the decision. And fair treatment means that no group of the population should bear any disproportionate burden of any environmental decision. It's not very easy to define environmental justice because it depends and varies from context to context, but environmental justice actually makes connections between environmental and social issues. I remember when I first started my career and I would go to the court with an issue which is totally non-conventional, the conventional lawyers would tell me, now she has come to waste the time of the court. Because the laws that I talk about, nobody has talked about implementation of those laws for 200 years. And nobody thought that these laws have any potential of solving people's problems that have been persistent in the society for God knows how many years. But the environmental laws, if you want to transform it into the justice notion, it actually links the society and the legal system. Environmental justice also provides opportunity for building broad-based coalition, and it makes profound changes to enhance the quality of the people whose life a particular river system or the air of Dhaka is affecting. But it's not an easy task because those who are well served by the system about which the first speaker of this session was talking about, they would definitely be out there to resist the changes that you want to bring. So these are very hard words. Now I'll be talking and sharing with you experiences that are actually known to all of you, but you probably don't think that there is a solution that exists to these problems. What does environmental justice mean to the people of Bangladesh? See, environmental justice to the people of Bangladesh means protection against natural disaster. It means protection against the degradation of the natural resource base, because 60% of the people of Bangladesh have their only animal protein intake from the rivers. The fish that they catch from the river is the only protein intake for them. They can't buy poultry, they can't buy fish. Whatever comes from the free-flowing river is the only animal protein intake for them. It also means protection against rapid and unplanned urbanization, pollution, shrinking of agricultural land, shrinking of potable water supply, depletion of forest resources, erasing of hillocks, disappearance of wetland and fisheries, and loss of biodiversity. So against all these anarchies, the protection that people want to get is what is known as environmental justice to them. I think I should also add one line, which is protection of cultural and natural heritage is also something that forms part of environmental justice. And environmental justice means and demands food security, water security, energy security, health security, and security for livelihood. It also demands the right to participate and have access to accurate information, judicial and administrative relief. Now coming down to how we have been trying to promote environmental justice in Bangladesh. When I first started my career, and even today when you come to Dhaka or you live in Dhaka, you get the feeling that Bangladesh perhaps is a country where there is no law. That is not the case. Bangladesh is a country where you can name any problem, I can give you one law. But the problem is, the laws are just not being implemented. Bangladesh is a country where there is no dearth of agencies or institutions. They are there. But they always plead lack of manpower, lack of resources. But when they have to really twist around things, then there is no lack of manpower. So Bangladesh is a country where I would say there are so many laws in hand with which you can very safely start your journey towards establishing or promoting environmental justice. We have around 200 laws in the country that deal with environment. Added to this are some procedural laws like the Right to Information Act. So if you want some information from the government, environmental information, you can apply under the Right to Information Act. You can have the information photocopied for you. You can also inspect the file. But whether these laws are working or not, that my subsequent slides will be showing. These laws, however, do not suggest that these are very resource-oriented laws or very environment-oriented laws. These are sectoral laws. Laws relating forest administration, water administration, but the conceptual and functional interpretation of the existing laws can provide a readily available statutory system to promote an equitable environmental order. If you start working on the basis of whatever you have in the law, I believe it will take you forward. There are many policies. The key institutions dealing with environmental justice remain the Ministry of Environment, the Department of Environment, and the Department of Forest. Now, this is what the Constitution says, that the state will protect and improve the environment, biodiversity, natural resources, wetland, forest, wildlife, not only for this generation, but also for the future generation. This Environment Conservation Act is there, which says that you have relief against some of the environment anarchies. If you approach to the Director General Department of Environment with a given environmental problem, he can arrange for public hearing to solve your problem. Not a single public hearing has thus far taken place, although the law was enacted in 1995. It's not that people are not going to him with complaints, but he just doesn't bother to arrange a public hearing. There is also your right to access information from the Department of Environment. Think about this Rampal coal-based power plant that the government is proposing to have just by the side of the Sundarbans. We are asking for the final environmental impact report of that plant, and on the basis of which the government has said yes to the project. That particular environmental impact assessment report has not yet reached us. There was never any public consultation. These are the sectoral laws. I will not be wasting time on this. Bangladesh has an environmental court system. Can you believe this? It's not only the High Court or the conventional court system that we have in place. Bangladesh is perhaps one of the few countries in this world that has offered its citizens a forum called the Environment Court, where you can go with your environmental grievances and get those redressed. But that's just not happening. How many of you knew about the existence of Environment Court in this country? Can you raise your hands? See? Just very few, very few. This is where the environmental courts are placed. It's actually at the lower judiciary. The environmental court had dealt with 1,123 cases, out of which 424 cases have been disposed of. The High Court has very wide power to deal with environmental offenses because environmental right has been interpreted as being inclusive within the right to life of all the citizens of Bangladesh. If you don't have a sound environment, there is no point having right to life. If you have to inhale the polluted air, what is the point of just living there, inhaling the polluted air all your life? And the High Court actually has played a very significant role in very progressively interpreting some of the sectoral laws, these 210 laws, and also relaxing some of the procedural requirements of filing cases. Now, this is despite all the laws, despite having the key institutions needed for protection of environment, despite having the constitutional commitment to protect environment, this is how our environment looks like.